everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from the beautiful Johannesburg, South Africa. It's been a week filled with overwhelming emotions that was daunting for South Africans living in the country and abroad. We were all affected by shocking scenes this week as we witnessed pandemonium, looting, violence, and destruction in parts of KwaZulu Natal and Gauteng. Some are left angry, fearful of voicing their opinions, frustrated, stressed, mentally challenged, and hungry because they cannot afford to shop or the shops are emptied out. The demand is currently greater than the supply. How do we move forward? Can we recover from this disaster? Yes, I call it a disaster. We are left feeling hopeless and helpless. As Mahatma Gandhi says, the world is big enough to satisfy everyone's needs, but will always be too small to satisfy everyone's greed. Tonight, I have Pastor Samantha de Kock from an NPO called Jesus Christ Warriors, JCW, on my show. My foundation, Famram Foundation, which is self-funded by my children, Hershin, Daksha, and myself, decided to partner with JCW so that we can fundraise to bring some hope and relief to some people in KwaZulu Natal during this trying time. Good evening, Pastor Samantha. How are you doing?
Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Shamila. How are you? Thank you for having me on Red Corner. What a privilege and an honor.
I'm actually, I'm so emotional right now. I feel like I want to cry because we've been through such a daunting week. It's been so emotional for everybody across the country because we really feel for people that have actually endured all this pain during this time. And that it goes for us as well. I mean, we've had sleepless nights and we worried about our family and friends in KwaZulu Natal and Gauteng, and it's just been quite stressful. But before we go ahead, please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and Jesus Christ Warriors. How did you start the nonprofit and why did you start the nonprofit?
So I am a mother to two beautiful children, married to a wonderful husband who's so supportive of everything that I do. I'm in the insurance industry. I'm a financial planner. And JCW, basically, we've always been involved in the community work without having an NPO. And it was the floods that took place in 2019 that basically birthed JCW to the full extent of what it is right now. We're a fairly new organization in KZN. We are in Chatsworth, Durban, our beautiful Chatsworth, and we've basically started assisting people. I don't know if you still remember, Shamila, when the floods that took place in April 2019 that ran a havoc.
Yes.
Where roads were flooded in, and we got together and I met amazing people, and we just decided, we were just normal citizens wanting to make a difference. And it was on my birthday, the 23rd of April, and I'd never forget it. And we got into this place and we just started helping. And then I decided, let me register the NPO. Our slogan read, it was actually called Jesus Christ Warriors, but our slogan read, Women on a Mission for Christ. And the reason for that was we have so many women that are so powerful out there, different race groups, different religions, but have come together and, serve on the purpose of helping humanity and without wanting accolades or recognitions or anything of that sort, but just wanting to make a difference. And me being a Christian, that's my faith. I've been ordained into ministry last year, November, and actively now involved in a church. But I would say that I've always had the love and care for people. And growing up in a difficult environment, having to see to my mom and myself when my dad was murdered, basically instilled this, how do I put it in words, this ambition in me that I wanted to be better. I wanted to do better. I wasn't going to be another statistic where I was going to just let my life fall apart because of the circumstances and all of that. And that's basically how JCW was birthed. That was the vision behind it. We wanted to make a difference and empower people and help where we could. So that's basically what we've been doing. We've been catering ever since to the Shashaya homes in Chatsworth. We've done toiletry packs. And, we must thank you, Dr. Shamila, for you contributing to those menstrual cups, your donation and helping us during our women's conference. Really, you being all the way, not even in KZN, but always been there to help and assist. And we must recognize you as well, although I know you don't like people making public recognition of you, but I still want to make mention of that. It's been really awesome because we partnered with normal civilians and also people of influence, and we must thank God that we are where we are right now to help, and that's our main focus, is to help.
Wow, it's such a privilege here to be able to sponsor wherever I can and to make a difference. And, for people listening out there, I'm the founder of the Princess D Menstrual Cup. And if you want to get involved in my projects, because this week alone, we've just been inundated with requests for menstrual cups because it's sustainable and it's reusable for 10 years. It works out to R2.50 or R2 a month, which is just cost effective as well. But thank you so much for that. I know you're doing wonderful work, and this is why I actually partnered with you. But I think, the burning topic is the unrest that has taken us like a hurricane. We watch the news, videos that go viral. We listen to voice notes of people in distress. Do you perhaps want to share a little bit of your experience in KZN?
It's been a week of unrest, yes, if you want to call it that, sleepless nights. But it's also been an awakening to something being reborn, unity, togetherness. There's a lot of negatives in every situation, but there's also positives. The negatives of it is it's been very fearful for kids, our husbands and brothers and nephews being on the road to protect the community. That's terrifying on its own. I mean, we as women can't really go to bed until we know that they are safe. And then also you need to take care of the guys that are basically protecting you on the road. You can't leave your home. There's a shortage of fuel. You're not safe because all you hear is gunshots. It's like, Shamila, we normally hear about these things in the movies or when we watch it in, at times in other countries. You never really think it's going to happen to you. I honestly would not have thought that I would live to see the date, this day and age where things have gotten so out of hand. And for whatever reasons they may be, we've heard it in history. We've heard it about our parents that have gone through stuff, but we've never heard ourselves where we have to literally save food, not waste, because you don't know if you're going to have enough to take you through the month. Because a lot of us may do monthly buying, some don't, some do weekly, and it's all different things that are going on around you. And then when you run an NPO and you're always actively involved in helping people on a monthly basis, and suddenly a list of maybe 20 or 30 families has now gone to over 1,000 families, everybody, not just the ones that have an income and are able to sustain themselves, but people have overnight lost their jobs that have previously never been in the situation. And not only dealing with that, you're dealing with COVID as well. And then people need medical care. So we're trying to multitask everything that's going on right now. So it has been really, really on edge. And it's sad because we can't reach everybody in sense of helping people, especially on those WhatsApp groups that are going around, with people that are really, really facing difficulties in a lot of area that don't have police protection and so forth.
Yes, I can so relate to that. It's been quite a traumatic week for all of us. I couldn't sleep. At one point I said, I'm going to switch off my cell phone and just try and get some sleep. And then I did that and I just couldn't sleep. And I thought, no, I can't sit back and just watch everybody going out there and crying and sobbing and putting out their videos and just all in distress. And I decided that I'm going to share stuff as well. We need to share, because I also found there are people that want to help. Some people are, busy fundraising or they're collecting stuff and they don't have transport. And then you find in one group, the person is collecting, the other person in another group is looking for transport. And if we don't share as public figures, how are people going to actually merge these two? And that is actually what I was sitting with today. And I was thinking, where's all the celebrities? Where's all the people, the influencers, unboxing all these beautiful gifts and whatever? Where are you now when South Africa needs you, really?
It makes a lot of sense what you're saying, Dr. Shamila. Where are they? You know, it's amazing how people have basically gone into hiding. People that are normally very on social media, I think the jokes have worn out now. There's nothing to laugh about. You know, this is quite serious. And I think that we as human beings need to gather our resources together, and we need to ask the question, where to from here? We can't change what's already happened, and I always say this to people. You can't control what people say, but you can control how you react to that situation. For me, that is vitally important. So we have a situation now, and we have to choose wisely in regards to how we react in order for our children's children to have a future, and we as South Africans to move forward and say we have just passed another obstacle, another hurdle, and we've done it by the grace of God and all of these wonderful people that have come together. I mean, there are amazing people out there like yourself, Dr. Shamila. I mean, you could have just sat there at home and said, you are safe in your home, you are well, you are taken care of. But the fact that you have reached out and you're using your platform in the right way, for me, that should motivate and encourage others out there that have the ability to share, that have a networking, that they should come together. And it's not always about money. Sometimes it's just about you speaking, your time, promoting others. We understand that, not everybody is going to have money. Not everybody is going to be able to give. There's a lot of organizations looking for stuff. But I think we know the genuine people out there in the community that are on an ongoing basis is helping the community, and we can relate to them.
I so agree with you. It's not about money, it's your time. Right now, we need people to clean up the cities in KwaZulu Natal and Johannesburg. You can help by doing certain things. You can share stuff. People are posting, they're offering to help. They want help. Just share. You never know who is going to reach. But, my foundation, Famram Foundation, has partnered with your NPO. And I must say thank you to our donors so far, that have come on board and heeded the call. We are collecting, the funds are coming in. We have a few South Africans so far. We have Professor Caroline Makaka, the President of Ladies of All Nations International in the UK, who's come on board, and many others promised to join in. For the listeners, whether you are in South Africa or overseas, you can still contribute. As Pastor Samantha has set up a PayPal account, which makes it easier and quicker to access the funds. Pastor Samantha, we've heard about the 25,000 soldiers that were recommended. What does that mean to South Africans? They were recommended, not deployed. Suffice to say that communities got together with the community police forums, in the spirit of Ubuntu. And I must add, Ubuntu is I am because you are. It's the compassion, the dignity, the pride. And this is what we South Africans stand for. And they decided to protect their families and their possessions, which they worked really hard for. I mean, we all work to the bone. How has that situation been in your area?
Well, Dr. Shamila, I've yet to see a military personnel in Chatsworth. I hear that they're around, but I have yet to see it. I stand to be corrected. I personally have not seen their boots in our area. I've seen our community come together, like you've mentioned. People that have not had military training, people that are not equipped to defend and protect the nation, people that have not taken an oath as a civil servant. I've seen them work together and try and do the best that they can with the help of the SAP in the area. I mean, really, we must be honest. People have a lot of things negative to say about the SAP and about security companies and so forth. But I want to say that they're doing the best that they can do. They're only human. They can't be at 10 places at the same time. And but in terms of the military, I have yet to see them. And I believe that the military's presence does make a difference, because it gives somewhat of an authority for normal civilians to feel safe, because they have been trained and equipped to deal with situations such as this. It's like, I would say, Dr. Shamila, how do you expect a normal layman, in layman terms, people to understand, how do you defend yourself if you just 10 people and you are surrounded by 100, there's going to be fatalities, there's going to be disaster. And it's just really, really, I think everybody has said this, and I don't know if it's going to reach the right ears or whatever the case may be, but we're praying that the president will take heed to the concern of us paying citizens that are living in this country, law-abiding citizens, the ones that respect the law. And there's a lot of good people out there, Dr. Shamila. We can't paint the brush and say that, everybody is the same. We all have our faults and failures as humans. And my black brother, my white brother, my colored brother, my Indian brother, we all are brothers and sisters. That's what I believe in, is that humanity has no race, no color, no creed, and that we need to stand together, and the government needs to hear us, give the people that security that they need. They want you to, it's tiring, it's time consuming. These guys are exhausted. We're not sleeping. They're not sleeping during the day. They're not sleeping at night. Life is not normal, whatever you want to call normal. I mean, COVID hit us and things got out of hand, and we didn't know what normal was since 2020. And we're now in 2021 thinking things are going to start getting better. We're just adapting to COVID and adapting to those strains and adapting to the difficulties that has brought on, because it's brought more unemployment. And now you have the military who we're looking for, but we can't find them. And who do we then speak to? I've yet to see it. I've just been on groups, people from East Sapingo. Just before I came onto the show, Dr. Shamila, I had a lady that on a voice note that was bitterly crying. And my heart broke, because I said to my husband, let's just drive and go out and see if we can help them. And he said to me, most probably you die before you even reach them. And that's the sad part of it. We
Yes.
want to help, but how do we help? We're just civilians.
Yes. Yeah, that's how we felt this week, hopeless and helpless. It's truly inspiring to see how communities are coming together to protect and support each other. And, we must actually thank them for that. But what went through your mind when you saw people getting into shops to loot, smiling at the cameraman, bravely walking out as though it's legal and okay to take what doesn't belong to them? How did you feel about that? At first, and I'm going to be very honest about this. At first, I took it as a big joke when it just started. And I started laughing at these big fridges and washing machines and stuff, TVs, 58 centimeter TVs being carried by one person. And I thought that was funny to me. But after a while, it just actually dawned on me that this is not right. How can you do that? How can you still go and burn the shopping mall down? What gives you the right to do something like that? But how did you feel?
Dr. Shamila, I must say that me being a Christian, and I told you I'm very strong in my faith, the Bible speaks a lot about these things that are going to happen at the end times, perilous times that we're living in. And for me as a believer, I've seen a lot of things that have taken place that the Word of God speaks about. But as a normal person, just waking up in the morning and seeing exactly what you're saying, first it was just like, oh my God, look what they're doing. And then it was like reality set in. This is getting far worse. And then I saw little children on television, and that broke me, because they think it's right. They don't think that they're doing something that is wrong, And I'm not sure if you saw, Dr. Shamila, this little boy that looted underwear and clothes, like just a small packet. But it was sad for me that he had to do that, because it wasn't like him having chocolates or chips. And I'm not condoning what they've done, but what I'm saying is that little boy had nothing, and most probably to him, he took it and he thought he was just doing what everybody else was doing, that it was right. But
Yes.
It was a sad realization that all of these infrastructures going up in smoke. You're looking at your landmarks, you're looking at stores like Macro that I shop in monthly, that I do my charity buying from. We go to Macro because they sell in bulk. And now you see it up in flames. And then you see these media personnel, people that we know personally, putting their lives in danger when they don't really have to. And there's so much of chaos, and there's so much of emotions in it. How do you as a South African We celebrated the World Cup. It brought us closer together. Nelson Mandela being released from prison, the break of apartheid, all of that brought us closer together. And now you have something that's tearing us apart. And that for me was difficult. All of that years of building, was it now going to be just thrown away? That for me personally, that's what I felt. What's going to happen to my children? What's going to happen to their future? Is this normal? Is it going to end?
I think just going back to the little boy, I think of my kids, especially my son when he was growing up. And if I took him into a toy store, he had his hands behind him, and I can still picture him doing that. So it all boils down to what values you instill in your children. And if they can see their parents doing it, it's okay for them to do it. They're going to do it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pastor Samantha, I know of a family member that stood in a queue for 3 hours the other day, only to be told that they ran out of supplies when he got very close to getting into the store. Did you experience the long queues at shops and that were spared from the looting, of course? What was your experience?
7 hours in a queue is a long time to wait. I have not ventured out as yet, I must be honest. My husband's a policeman, so he's been telling me of the queues, and because they have special points that they have to obviously take guard of, and they are based at the Chatsworth Center. And it's been really, really difficult because people have been standing in that queue since 4 in the morning, and some of them right up until closing time and still have not entered the store. So, like I said, I do monthly buying. So for me, I'm still a little okay till the next payday. But there's not a lot of people as fortunate as that. And the stuff that we've just been cooking and obviously taking care of the guys that are patrolling and assisting, do a little bit wherever you can. I'm not the best cook. I learned how to make roti in 2 days, Dr. Shamila, things that I've not done before. Now I'm a roti specialist. So I've made roti and sugar beans, and we've all had, and my children, I must say this, and my husband always says this, one day you waste food, and then there's going to be a time you're not going to have it, and then you're going to know, because we just grew up, and it's like my kids for some reason won't eat the food that was cooked yesterday today. Very bad habit. And majority of the time, if there's nobody around to give food to, then it would just go to the dogs, and now we're not doing that. So whatever I prepared for supper last night, sorry for them, they're going to have it for supper tonight, because that's just how it is. We're not in a position to waste a single thing. And I think, it's God teaching us something as well.
For sure. I think, that is something that we should be doing all the time. I can tell you, and I'm very proud of it, we don't waste food here. So we can eat something for 2 days. And if there's anything left over, we'll still have it for lunch. And now that we're working from home as well, there's always food that we need. We need to eat lunch as well. And
True.
But just the price hikes, I've heard of the prices in Durban, and it's so unfair because we can now shop at Checkers and Pick and Pay here, and the prices are the same. But in Durban, apparently, the people that have goods or the suppliers have just put up their prices.
I'm not going to mention names, but I phoned around today for the hampers, and I needed to speak to the store owners. So like I said, we do a lot of networking with the managers at the retail stores because of the charity drives that we do. And I called a couple of places today, and where we normally would pay 10 Rand for Colgate toothpaste, it's now 20 Rands. And then 500 grams of sugar that you would normally pay like maybe 10 Rand or so is now 20 Rands. So you can definitely see that, this is stock that they've already had. So there's no way that a wholesaler was going to increase your prices overnight for stock that you've already kept in your store for a long time. And for me, it was really, really mind-blowing to know that we're already in a crisis, and there are people out there that's looking to make a quick buck. So is the circle of life, I suppose. Some people lose, some people gain, and you try to fathom that we've had our guys protecting these stores, only to go in there to find out that they've hiked all the prices.
Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous. Pastor Samantha, how does it feel to see videos, for example, now this video has been going viral, where a woman opens her fridge and shows everyone the contents. That is not what she paid for, but stole. And here we find people have nothing to eat, although they've worked so hard all their lives, but cannot get supplies now.
It was heart-wrenching because to know that they have, I don't know if you saw the video with the milk being washed, the feet being washed in milk. And that for me is not poverty. That for me can never be poverty, where you are taking milk and washing your feet with it, and then you're drinking from it to say that it's fine, it's okay. As for the lady with the fridge, I mean, I can understand the excitement of having things that you've never had before. I can understand the excitement. They don't obviously see anything wrong with what they've done. They feel they're entitled to it. And that's how they feel. And sometimes, studying counseling as well, Dr. Shamila, and being a counselor in terms of understanding human behavior and the way that people, it's just something that they have right now, and they're just enjoying it. They're not thinking about tomorrow. They're not thinking about ESCOM putting out the lights and all of those things going off. They're not thinking about that fridge was not meant to keep that sort of products. The thinking behind it is not like you and I, where it's logical. They're in their own little, it's same like people that are high on drugs. They're in a different realm. They're in a different world. These people are high on whatever it is what possesses a person to go into a place, ransack it, steal it, do whatever you want to do, take whatever's not yours, and then still set it alight? That's not normal behavior. There's something wrong with that. And what it is, God only knows.
There's everything wrong with that. And also just the mere fact that I somewhat disagree. I think they know what they're doing, because that is so wrong. You cannot take something that doesn't belong to you. That is theft.
But it all comes back down to exactly what you said a little while ago. It's about the upbringing. It's about the values. It's about what we see, what we do. And our children will replicate what we've done. We hope that they will replicate the good that we've done. And, it's difficult. Hey, it's really, really difficult to make sense of it. There's no way of making sense of something that's senseless.
Yes, for sure. Destroying and damaging the crematorium, the SPCA, stealing the food, animal safe houses, a radio station, shopping malls, trucks, pharmacies, warehouses.
Blood banks.
Blood banks, taking equipment worth thousands of rands. And here our country we're actually going through a pandemic globally. It's just sad. It's just really sad. It's impacted the lives of all South Africans, with the looming food shortages. How can the looters say they're hungry? I mean, what are you going to do with the TV? What are you going to do with the fridges? What are you going to do? I mean, did this destruction bring them food? I mean, they're going to have food for a week or two, and then what?
I think, Dr. Shamila, what was really heart-wrenching with all the videos that was going around was the farmers that had milk that had to be thrown away, because there was no way for them to donate it or transport it any further due to the N3 being closed. And of course, with all of the roads that have been barricaded and still not open and all of that, that for me was really, really heart-wrenching to see that, there are babies out there that are crying for milk right now as we speak. Did they not think about the innocent children that don't have diapers, that don't have feeds, and hearing a mom cry for formula? That for me was really difficult. I mean, we are a little bit older, we can have a cup of tea or we sleep without it, we're fine. We used to doing things, but how do you explain to a little baby that you don't have it and watch them cry? I mean, that for me, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, a mom looking at a child and feeling helpless. And that for me is so emotional. And I think we need to understand that this just didn't affect a person or one sector. It's affected everybody. It's a ripple effect. And the innocent are the ones that's paying the price for it.
Definitely. So just for people that didn't see these stats, our presidency put out some stats yesterday, and arrests have been made. Arrests will continue to be made and justice will be served. In total, 2,203 arrests made by SAPS, the South African Police Services, 725 arrests in Gauteng, and 1,478 in KwaZulu Natal. And my thoughts, do you have enough space in the prisons? Who pays for this? It's going to be the taxpayers, right? But we'll just leave that there.
I think some things are better left unsaid because that's just how it is, We can't control it, Dr. Shamila. I mean, if we were the president or it would be different, hey? It would be different because we have a different set of values and I can understand as well, all I can say is we pray, we pray very hard for those that are in government, for those that are in authority to make the right decisions that will benefit us as citizens of this beautiful land. South Africa is my home. I didn't come from India. Could have been my grandparents that got here and did what they needed to do, but this is the land that I was born in. This is my home. Why should I have to go away from a place that is my home? And that's what we ask ourselves, because I've got friends of different races and they are like my brothers and sisters,
Same.
And we still fine. We know each other and, it hasn't done anything to our relationship, but it does put a strain to the normal person walking on the road. And you don't blame people for reacting the way they are, is because there's a cap now. Are they a suspect or are they just somebody that lives in the area? Unfortunately, Dr. Shamila, that's just the way it is. Our fears are on a high level. People want to be cautious. Like you said, they want to protect their property, but more so their family. I mean, it was a different case when they were looting the malls, but to come into private properties and terrorize and want to make it now something that it's not, that's really, really, upsetting.
It's upsetting and it's scary as well. We have people that are doing their utmost. I mean, the relief from our good people. Yesterday, we saw a gentleman or gentlemen from Azadville in Johannesburg that drove their trucks with their own security with 32,000 loaves of bread for distribution. Blessings to them.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I promise you, Dr. Shamila, that what gives you hope to let you know that we can, and if there's a lot more good than there is bad. And if all of the good comes together and we unite and we stand together, evil will definitely be uprooted. And we will look back at this day and say we've survived.
I just want to add a quote here by Tata Madiba, and this poor man is probably turning in his grave. Great anger and violence can never build a nation. The 18th of July is a global celebrated day, Mandela Day, and we decided to take on this initiative and help where we can, you and I. Please share what you intend doing with the funds that's going to be raised.
So we want to so I've got a list of more than 300 people already that are in need of just the bare essentials, where they have absolutely nothing at the moment. So far, Dr. Shamila, we've raised 4,000 rands in total, with the kind contribution of, I'm not sure if you want me to mention names or not, but we've managed to raise funds with people that have really, really come on board and contributed whatever they could afford. For me, whether a person is given 1,000 rands or 100 rands, they've contributed to the need, and we appreciate that. So the funds that we accumulate together would be made, hampers would be made to assist with your rice, oil, soya products, things that, that we still have, that we can still get. Obviously, with hampers, we can't really go into a lot of fresh produce or a lot of products that are frozen, to the fact that we have to sustain and give people things that are going to last a little bit longer, because we're also faced with the challenge that we can't bulk buy. So
Yes.
We're in communications now with store owners to ask them to please assist us, because we, like I said, JCW assists the Shashaya homes in Bayview as well, which is a disabled home for adults and children with disabilities. And we've been assisting them with toiletries and so forth from last year. And it so happened that One of our very good sponsors, the manager at Clicks, who died of COVID in Chatsworth, we weren't able to do any fundraising due to COVID and the level 4 restrictions and so forth. So we haven't, I've got a call from them to ask for assistance, but our hands have been tied because obviously people have been feeling, the strain and not having funds and not having jobs. So we appeal to people out there that can assist in whichever way you can, with whatever amount you can. And I can assure you that your funds will be used for the right things. JCW is all about honesty and transparency. You go onto my page and you see every contribution that we get in. Not a lot of organizations will put the amounts that they're receiving. I believe that that fund belongs to people that have sowed with a good heart and a good intention, and they need to know where their money is going. So it's there for everyone to see. As the funds are coming in, we advertise it. Not a lot of people want exposure, and I get that. So we just put in the amounts as anonymous, and we'll let them know whoever needs the exposure, especially if it's for a company. They're not doing it for to be noted or recognized. They do it more for the fact that they are building the community, and that funds to encourage other brands to also want to come on board and assist. So basically, Dr. Shamila, those what the funds are going to be used for is doing our hampers and trying to reach as many as we can. 4,000 won't even get us 10 hampers. So we are a long way from where we need to be, but we are trusting and believing in God that He will provide like He always does. And that there's good people out there that have already helped. We pray God will bless you and your families and your children. And, that if ever we are in a position to help, we will always be there. That's what South Africa is all about. Even to the outside countries, we're always keeping people in our prayers, and where we know that they're going through difficulties, we also do our fundraisers here to assist them. So we're hoping that the good, kind people will come out and help us.
I'm sure they will. And, I've got a huge global following, and I'm sure a lot of my friends are going to be watching this, and we urge you to come on board. And even if it's $10 or $5 or $20 or $50, please, we have a PayPal account, come on board, sponsor, help South Africans. We really need you at this time. Support me in this initiative and Pastor Samantha, because I know you can. It's tough times for everybody because of COVID-19, but I'm sure we can make a plan. Just funny enough, before I came on the chat this evening, my son actually said he also wants to donate. So we are going to make a contribution from the foundation. So yeah, the money will trickle in, and we will be able to feed people and help people. We've got COVID people that need medication now. There's a lot of people in need at this time. So my global family, we need you, please, please, please. So Pastor Samantha, the Clean Up City campaigns are underway. We know some businesses will not afford to rebuild, or they want to move out of the areas affected. I've seen some of the CEOs going on television and stating that they are not going back into the communities. But others say they safely will go back to serve their communities. Anyone close to you affected as a small business owner? Because I know small businesses struggle, especially with not having insurance policies.
Dr. Shamila, like I said, I'm in the insurance industry. It's very sad because a lot of people don't see the urgency or the importance of having insurance, and a lot of them, like you said, small business owners are really, really affected, because you've got a lot of people that do online business, like with social media, where they purchase from a store and they resell those goods. And they have basically, some of them have had orders that was put into the stores that were looted. And they normally go on a weekly basis, collect the money from people, and then go on a weekly basis, buy their stock, and then courier it out. And now you find that they've taken these people's money to get the stock, and now they're sitting with a problem where obviously their profits were included, and they would have thought that they would be able to make more money and so forth. So it like I said, the ripple effect. I know a lot of people that have businesses that right now are asking me for hampers. Pastor Sam, if you can help us with some groceries. And it's really I get quite emotional when I talk about these things because I'm a person that would give of myself, and I will continue to do that. I will take personally from myself, and I don't mind doing it because I believe God sees our hearts and He knows the intentions of our heart. And it's just sad, Dr. Shamila. It's really sad that we are faced with this day.
Yes, I know.
And we all we can do is be grateful to God that we are safe, we are alive. That means our purpose is not yet completed. We're still on this earth, and we will take each day as it comes and do the best that we can. So I want to also thank you so much for everything that you've done, your support in all of my initiatives. We really, really appreciate you, and we appreciate every viewer that's online right now that has just come to listen to our plight and acknowledging that we are a beautiful country that's just going through a difficult time, and hoping that we're going to see that rainbow very soon.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and we can do so much, but we need the help of other people. And also, there are amazing organizations doing things at this time. If you want to share your organization in the comment section, let people get in touch with you as well. We one nation, saving our nation. We can work together, collaborate, and let's do this. Let's repair, restore South Africa. We're a strong nation, and together we can repair, restore, rebuild, recover from all of this. It's our South Africa. Let's save our nation and forget about the looting, the racism, the anger. Let's just move ahead.
For the sake of our children and our nation, we have to move forward. I just want to thank all of the guys that are in Johannesburg. We've got another lady also, Dr. Shamila, that's been endlessly calling me and trying to assist in ways that you never believe. She managed to secure a sponsor for Formula, which is just stuck in transit because of all of the red tape going on right now. So we just ask that people be patient with us as well, because the sponsors, they're also dealing with a crisis, and they also have a lot of red tape to get through. It's not as easy as just committing and then, getting to you. We have to get the stuff, and, we just ask that people be patient and just be focused on better days are ahead.
For sure. I just want to say sincere appreciation to each and everyone that continues to make a positive contribution in our country, and just helping the impoverished and helping people especially at this time. We need the help. We are resilient, we're courageous, we're hopeful, and we're determined to rebuild our beautiful country because we love our country. And as a Play Your Part ambassador for Brand South Africa, to all those driving any poverty relief initiatives in your area, please enter the Play Your Part Awards 2021. If you enter today, you could win a cash prize of 5,000 Rand and a guaranteed entry into the grand prize. Check out the official Brand South Africa and Play Your Part pages on Facebook. And if you require more information, feel free to contact me. I want to say thank you, Pastor Samantha, my guest on the show tonight, for taking the time off from your busy schedule. I know we tried to coordinate a little chat today, and that was difficult with both our schedules. I really appreciate you coming on board and doing the amazing work that you're doing to make a difference. We can do this. We're going to get people to help us, and we're going to drive this. We're going to do this. And I want to say thanks to Bashwat Natasha. You are doing incredible work. I partner with you, and I drive some of your initiatives with Dr. Carl Wilson from the USA, Dr. Asghar Mohammed. Amazing work these people are doing. Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman. There's so many people that I can thank right now. Ambassador Marian Kasimji, everybody that's watching and doing amazing work. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you are doing to just drive these initiatives and make a difference, because South Africa needs you right now. To the audience, fundraising details will be shared across our social media platforms. Please dig into your pockets. If it's 10 Rand, 20 Rand, 50 Rand, whatever it is, it's not too little, because it all adds up. We want to help make an impact in a few lives in KwaZulu Natal. So let's do this. We're going to end this conversation today with a quote from Nelson Mandela. It's so easy to break down and destroy. The heroes are those who make peace and build. South Africans, you are the heroes. Let's do this. Remember, COVID is still here. Mask up, sanitize, practice social distancing, and get vaccinated. Pastor Samantha, your last words.
To every single South African out there, we can do this. We will achieve. We will come out stronger. Just believe and trust and just show love wherever you go. For God so loved the world that he gave. You be blessed.
Love it. Such an awesome way to end. You know, at the beginning of the week, we felt hopeless and helpless. Now we are hopeful and helpful. We are here, we're going to make a difference, and we're going to make a sustainable difference, and we're going to build South Africa. To anyone watching that would like to be on my show, The Red Corner Show, it's a global chat show. Come on board, let's chat. You too could inspire somebody. It's redcornershow@gmail.com. Until then, God bless you all, and thank you for everything that you're doing. We need peace, love, and prayer. Thank you and good night.